How's it going, guys? It's Braden,
And Mark.
and we're back again, this time talking about finishers. So we decided just to sit here, go through, we kind of thought through all the generic finisher profiles to try and kind of encompass all of them that we could really get. There's a few unique ones here and there, but we kind of categorized all of the finisher profiles, and we're just going to go through, talk about them.
Give some examples, give some feelings and thoughts, maybe talk about why in maybe one set this finisher profile might be really good, and why that finisher profile in another set's kind of garbage, unplayable.
Yep, and then we can kind of talk about how finishers changed over time as well.
We got text that said climax combo. That's a simple one.
Yeah, we got text that had climax on it. So, our first category is kind of just finishers, but they're not actual finishers.
Are you going to call these anti-finishers?
These are anti-finishers. These are things that...
Stall finishers.
These are stall finishers. So the first thing we have is just vanilla swings. And vanilla swings are you swing. You don't have the right climax in hand. You don't have the off finisher. You just have what you have in hand, and you swing with it.
I slam bodies and turn them sideways, like a good player in Magic the Gathering playing green.
Yep. Not exactly a finisher. It's kind of why it's here in our first category, but sometimes you're just out that much, and you need to swing 3 times for a game. The next one that we kind of thought of is just healing and sitting. This kind of encompasses heal spamming, things that don't actually play a finisher. They kind of vanilla swing, but they actually
They get some benefit out of it. It's not just a body sitting on board.
Yeah, so it's standby, old traditional standbys would kind of sit there, like Fujimi, where Fujimi 1's 8 standby deck, where it didn't have a finisher. It would just kind of sit there, or maybe hold up a defensive counter of some kind, tap, money, neg soul, +6 even. Some decks that try and hoard resources, like resource generation combos, which we don't really see too much at level 3, but we see early play advantage combos like Blue Archive and the bar top end in Atla, though that has another effect on it that actually is a finisher. But yeah, stuff that will just heal and then sit there and try to negate damage. Luna is a big one, though Luna also has burns, I guess. So.
I was going to say, and you could also make the same argument with Biscuit, but that's not tied to the combo. That's just tied to swinging.
Yep, just attack, heal. And then our last one, which is probably the most relevant in the modern day, is just Neg Soul. Plenty of Neg Souls. The first big oppressive one in the English format was Bang Dream with the Orisa Wall. But we've seen Sora, Neg Soul, Priestess, unfortunately never got a really good tournament season because of the COVID.
It's a very evil Neg Soul, though.
Yep.
Because that one, you can hit 3 Neg Soul.
Yeah, that was Neg 3.
Pretty generic.
Yep.
2 Neg Soul.
Mash has got Neg 3 Soul.
Mash is also kind of atrocious.
And you can't
reverse her.
You can't reverse Mash. Sora's nasty because it comes out as early as level 1, the second turn of level 1. But yeah, Neg Soul hasn't been the most relevant thing recently. I think there's been 1 or 2 Sora tops for the 2025 season.
I hate to say it, but Neg Soul is kind of situational to the meta. If the meta's not banking on a lot of soul, it's it's utilizing burn effects.
Yeah.
Negging Soul's not going to hurt you that badly.
Yeah. Well, it's the problem of finishers nowadays get enough damage through that you need your Neg Soul to do something else or have a follow-up play after the Neg Soul. I think it's only one Sora Hololive Neg Soul has shown up in 2025 BCS, and they were also playing Marine in it, just as a second turn after the Neg Soul.
I was going to say Neg Soul, also to an extent, sometimes feels like you put the Neg Soul there to stall your opponent, but then you have some sort of off finisher that's actually your... Because to a certain extent, yeah, the idea of Neg Soul is, well, if you can't hurt me, I can't die.
But I'm also not.
But if I can't maintain my Neg Soul board, then I'm going to die.
Yep. And then this is a big trade-off thing that I've brought up on, I think, either Clock Tower or Carmen's videos from Pittsburgh. But when you play a Neg Soul, you want your Neg Soul to stay on board so you can do the Neg Soul again. When that happens, these are all climax tied effects, and they're usually on level 3s. There are very few level 2 Neg Souls, but they do exist. I know of at least one. If you're winning board, you're now suddenly swinging for 4 with a climax in play, and that gives the opponent a lot of opportunity to cancel as well, especially because you're not pressuring them with other instances of damage. So you'll often overswing a lot until they're ready to drop a finisher board or answer your Neg Soul in a meaningful, realistic way with, like, blink, bounce, kick, anything.
Well, and another thing you can consider, too, is at least a lot of Neg Soul finishers that I'm aware of tend to have early play conditions.
Yep.
So you could potentially anti-change out those.
Yep. Anti-change counter is a good out for Neg Soul combos.
At least for
early play ones. Yep. There are a few Neg Souls that come out at 3, like just at 3, and usually they're not good enough because the Neg Soul's not relevant anymore.
I was going to say, I feel like a lot of Neg Soul finishers need the potential to come out early, because if you're waiting until you're at 3, it's too late.
Yeah, exactly. It's just far too late already.
You've lost too much ground at that point. It's like, how am I going to stall when I only have, at most, 7 life, or 6.
Yeah.
Because you can't take 7, you'll die.
Yeah, if you take 7, you lose. You only have 6 to work with.
It's like, yeah, I can take you down, but I mean, if you have a full finisher board, you slam climax. If I'm only Neg Souling you 2, your swings can still go through for 1, and depending on what your combo is.
Yep, and I think this is a big thing with modern Weiss, is that finishers nowadays are really good at dealing 7 damage in just the burning instances and just burns or other effects. Back when Orisa was really running the format as like a good, very strong Bane Dream deck, there weren't nearly as potent finishers to really take advantage, let alone finishers that like didn't need reverses. Orisa is a global 15, so it sits at like 14-5 cross turn. It's freaking ginormous. On top of Bang Dream still having access to Stock Swap and Fumio at this time, because they've had access to that since forever. So they actually had ways to like leverage their swings for 4, turn after turn after turn, into game-ending potential, and the game stalling was heavily in their favor. So yeah, modern Neg Soul, I think, is struggling, and it will continue to struggle unless they start tying finisher effects to Neg Soul as well, which they have experimented with, but they have not made it strong or powerful. Notably, Data Life 2, it doesn't early play. There's a bar combo that is a Neg 2 Soul. It is hexproof, and it also burns 1 when you do the combo. But because the Neg Soul doesn't come out early, it's only a burn 1. It doesn't sit big. It never saw any play.
Well, and arguably, you could also say that Neg Soul would act... Would you say Neg Soul would do well into standby decks that generally don't have big explosive combos in their finishers?
So typically, yes.
I mean, they're not going to win board in most of those instances.
So it's the problem of you have to be able to win board against standby, and win board effectively defensively to shut the standby board down.
Because I know a lot of Neg Soul cards tend to sit large, but not.
The ones
standby
nowadays
boards tend to be a little more aggressively large.
Yes, they do. Now, especially nowadays, standby is now less about just
numbers.
About the numbers. Now, your standbys actually have to do stuff to keep up. They either have to burn 3 at the end of the attack, like Nino did, or they have to, like, Ayakashi Triangle, dump all your stock in hand to get, like, 4 instances or 5 instances of burn 2. or they have to sit big enough and provide enough defensive utility like Luna while providing offensive utility. Like, Luna's a monster of a card.
R.I.P. the Mushoku era.
Yep. Mushoku, like...
Because Mushoku is very much
it's
I'm
another
sitting
burn
big,
too.
but I'm not really doing much.
Yep. Though they did have tap counter, and they still have another standby finisher that burns 2 with no backups.
I guess technically they had Paul.
And yeah, Paul's another one. So, yeah, your standby has to do more than just sit there and heal and sit, like we said earlier. Fujimi 2 can't keep up in the format because it doesn't have real finishers. Or Fujimi 1. Fujimi 1 8 standby. After that, we've got burn. Just regular burn, any number, one time. Burn 1 with Trouble Girl, Haruhi from way back in the day. Was a really good finisher way back in the day. Nowadays, we see much more. We see burn 2, 3, 4. We see burn 5s on weird stuff like events and other stuff with cost. We see choose your burn as well. We kind of categorized all of the single instance of burn together into one category. Burn's been around for basically ever.
I think burn is one of the most just generic. Hey, you can throw this on a card and it just works.
Yep. Even as recently as 2025, we've seen Marin succeed quite a bit. And that's just burn 2, effectively on a very cheap body. And that's how they kind of power crept burn 2, or at least just singular burn. We've seen burn 4 a little bit with Hendrickson, though that had a little bit extra tied to it that we'll get into later.
I'm going to say a lot of really generic door finishers. Because you have Biscuit with a burn 4. I think Spy Family Yor is a burn 4.
Yep, Yor's burn 4.
And usually burn is really cheap if it's a large number, if I recall.
So we've seen the same burn. We've seen burn 2, burn 3, burn 4. I don't know if we've seen burn 5. Burn 5 is usually weird and like on a weird event, but we've seen burn 2, 3, and 4 all on the same cost of pay 1, pitch 1.
Okay.
We've also seen it on cheaper and more expensive depending on what the on-play effect is of the card.
Well, that's also a question of, is this a climax combo tied, or is it a off finisher tied?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't need the climax combo, a lot of times the cost bumps up.
Yep. Generic on attack burn 2, I know, is 4 resources. It's either pay 2, ditch 2, pay 3, ditch 1.
R.I.P. Hikaru, who's 5.
No,
or is she 4?
It's pay 3, ditch 1.
Okay, it's pay 3, pitch 1. For some reason, I think it's pay 3, pitch 2, and it's like, no, that can't be right. That's way too damn expensive.
Yep. Drake for Roger Lane is pay 2, ditch 2, except that's cross turn.
That's a burn 4.
Yep, that's a burn 4. And that is cross turn, but that requires a reverse. So that adds 1 cost, and then being cross turn, I think, might add another cost to that.
So that's why it's increased in its count then?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's a
burn
ditch
2 requires 4 resources. Every time we add a resource, are we just adding an additional damage?
No, we're not. For a long time, burn 2 was priced more expensive. Burn 2 and burn 3 was priced more expensively than other burns, or it's like it varied depending on like what you had. So like Last Shot was the quintessential burn 4 for a very long time from Sword Art, and healed on. Did it heal on play? I think it healed on play.
I don't know. I didn't play Sword Art.
I didn't play Sword Art either. I played into Sword Art a lot. But yeah, heal 4. That I know the cost on that was pay 2, ditch 1. So,
well, and arguably, I think if you're burning a lot to a certain extent, I think it should be cheaper in some instances, because the chances of it succeeding go down drastically.
Yes, I do know that, because like burn 50 is free.
Oh, it's like the Toru uncommon from Dragon Maid, where on swing you declare a number, and you just burn that many.
So that's the double rare.
Is it double rare?
That's your choice. That was your go-to choice finisher that they printed and they expected you to play.
thought it was an uncommon.
It's pay 2, ditch 2.
Oh.
With the climax combo.
Yeah, I was going to say required climax combo, but I thought it was an uncommon level 2.
No, that is a 3-2 finisher. It heals on play.
Okay. I might be misremembering.
Mm-hmm.
I never played it.
Never played.
I played Bar.
Unfortunately, everyone played Bar because they saw the 3-soul unit and said, let's go.
You just kills.
Yep. So, and then that kind of segues. That is a different type of finisher. We called it modular burn. It's in the same category, though. Or you get to declare a number, or you get to burn for some different amounts, like Slime, the Benimaru, reveals the top card and burns for that level, +1. Other things, like you can look at almost any set and you can find some kind of burn in there, going like almost all the way back. Especially when you get back, you start seeing more burn 1 way back in the day. You don't see as much burn 2 and burn 3.
Well, and then you have it's not. I guess this wouldn't really be it's not tied to a climax combo, but I know Kill to Kill, the Ryuko, the original Ryuko at 3.
Burn for the marker.
Burn for markers.
That was burn 1x times, I believe. Multiple burns, which we'll get to multiple burns. But next on our list, we are talking about new attackers or attacking again. So we got restanders and pseudo restanders. Restanding, for a long time, was very expensive, even when tied to climax combos. The most expensive one I know of is the Love Live Pants combo that I know I showed you at least one point, which was on attack, pay 3, ditch 2 for a restand, and then it drew 2 to pitch 1 on play. It gained power at least, so like you didn't reverse. It like swung at like 14 or bigger, so it's like you didn't. It's super weird when you have on attack restand because you can technically
lose the fight.
You lose
still
combat.
Restand.
Well, no, you lose. So you stood up. If you then lose combat, you then go from standing straight to reversed because you're still in combat for damage step because it was on attack. You paid it. That's a weird ruling thing, though. But most restanders nowadays are end of the attack, or when your center lane attacks, they have a few of those, like Sword Art, Hololive, both have a profile that has that, where when your center lane attacks, you have to hit a top check to get a restand.
I still think it's very fun when, on your first swing, it's like, oh, the thing I'm swinging into is way too big for me to win. Doesn't matter. I'm getting that second attack.
Yep, you can stand it anyway. As long as they don't memory kick or hard remove, top kick, or something like Nikkei does, you can get a restander out.
Until they money counter you.
Until they
just like,
money.
nah.
You lose 2 attacks now.
Yes.
So
restand is both climax tied and non-climax tied.
Yep.
It's what? Is it also
the cost has changed over the years depending on like.
I was gonna say it's gotten a lot cheaper.
It has
now we have
cheaper.
Azure 2 Ayaname. That's what? 2 resources, pay 1, pitch 1?
It's pay 1, pitch 1 at the end of its attack.
And then you have, in the previous set, Kronstadt is what? Pay 2, pitch 1, kill a thing.
And sack a character.
So it's 4 resources for a single restand on a off finisher.
Yep, off finisher. A finisher that has no on-play effect, but does gain 3k on turn. Assault Lily was the first one to, at least the first major one I saw that played that profile, the Kronstadt profile. And they had a very similar thing where they had a card. You actually did almost the same thing as the Bismarck deck, where you had a combo lane that gave an on-attack skill to your 2 wing restand, to your 1 restander or your 2 restanders. Theirs, they gave it Icy Tail 3, which we'll get into Icy Tail as well later. Spoilers.
And then we have one of the worst restands possible, tied to Konosuba's Sylvia.
Sacks the climax.
I gotta sack the climax to restand. Granted, it's
free.
No, it's not. It's
super cheap.
Pay 1, pitch 1.
That is cheap, at least for a restand, but you can only do it once.
You feel so bad because then you lose the climax effect.
Yeah, because it's a 1k one.
Because as opposed to the
stock soul
one, which is once it's gone, you still get the +1 soul.
Yep, 1k ones are continuous, so restands So there's a few things with restands.
You get to keep your soul.
You keep your soul. Soul changes last until the end of the turn, not till the end of the attack. So if you direct attack the restander, you gain the +1 soul like you normally would, and when you restand, you maintain that soul, and you get another +1, so it's +2.
And the same is true if you side, right?
The same is true if you side, yep.
Permanent loss.
Permanent loss of soul. So if you side attack a level 3 with a 3 soul attacker, you're at 0 soul, and then your next attack is again 0 soul. Same with soul triggers. Soul triggers also affect until the end of the turn, so if you direct attack, rip a soul trigger, 3 soul unit, direct for 4, soul triggers 5. When you restand, you'll direct again for 6, and if you hit a soul trigger, it's for 7. So, soul modulation is very strong with restanders. However, there is counterplay with leaving open lanes, neg soul counters, things of that sort. Getting around all the soul modulation stuff, we have variations of restander. So we have finishers that spawn new attackers. This is like the Morphonica finisher from the Bang Dream Morphonica Raise a Soul set, where it just spawns new finishers. Slime has a finisher that spawns new finishers, where it spawns copies of itself, or you can spawn copies of yourself. Usually they go to memory and then they spawn a copy. Attack on Titan definitely played into this with the salvage top end, I believe. I believe it's the 8 salvage deck.
Did the Levi top end spawn?
No, Levi was Clock Kick and Burn.
Okay.
Clock Kick is also a different one.
We'll get to that one
We'll get that one as well.
Well, if a more recent example, we'd have the Don Okaroon combo.
Yep, Okaroon and Don is the most recent example of this.
In English.
Yep, it spawns a specific one, or one.
You have two options.
You have two options.
Spawn one of the two,
but more targeted than the generic ones. But yeah, the advantage of spawning a new attacker is the soul modulation doesn't change, and anything that affected the original unit no longer affects it because the original unit is now gone.
You've essentially replaced it or gotten rid of it.
You've effectively now have a 4th attack again, just with a 4th swinger. Quick notes, you can still crash into reversed units. The reversed unit is still there on the board. Its state doesn't change anything. You can side a reversed unit. You can front a reversed unit. You can crash into a reversed unit. They can play backups, events, counter events. Nothing changes just because their thing is reversed.
Generally speaking, spawning a new unit tends to be rather expensive as a combo, isn't it?
Yes.
Because I remember doing the math on the Okaroon, and it was an abysmal amount of hand and stock in order to full combo that.
Yeah, I believe the Okaroon, does it respawn from hand? I can pull that up.
I honestly don't remember off the top of my head because I only read it once.
Yep, saw it one time, but
I think it's from Waiting Room.
I hope it's from Waiting Room.
I think it's just from Waiting Room.
Let's see, Full Throttle, Okaroon. Yes, pay 4. It's a lot of stock. Pay 4, ditch a card. At the end of this attack, grab Tenacious Pursuit or Full Throttle Pursuit Okaroon in your waiting room.
Yep.
And then you get all the markers and then go back. Yeah, lots of stock cost. You do kind of, that one actually does refund some of the cost because it's draw 2, ditch 2 stock one, so it's a 1 stock to play it. So a little bit of stock refund on that.
And you're also burning through decks, so if you don't have all the pieces in Waiting Room yet, you can filter through your deck a little.
Yep.
But still, very expensive.
It's pretty expensive. However, it's like, again, restanders oftentimes will have these higher stock costs, and they can pay them off because when you do multiple instances, you get 5 attacks, maybe 6 attacks, and you generated 6 stock by attacking like that.
Well, and when you spawn a different card, I know with the Okaroon, depending on which one you spawn, some of them have additional payable, like burn effects.
Yeah, so like Full Throttle Pursuit has ditch 2, burn 3. And then there's attack if you do not have the other
if you
thing.
don't have the Momo in the back row, you hurt yourself.
Yeah, you burn yourself 3. Okay, yeah. So, but yeah, Don, cool set. spawning new finishers, really cool. There's a cooler way to do it, though.
There's two very special versions we've come up with here.
Yep. So,
one of them is a personal favorite of Braden's. He loves this.
Well, okay. So actually, we do have a really cool thing first. We're going to switch the order on these.
Oh, he's changing the order on me.
Yeah. So we have the really cool one. So we have Sunder. The big Sunder thing was Gurren Lagann, where you assembled your giant robot, and what it does, for those who do not know, you effectively stack the 0, the 1, the 2, the 3, all underneath the giant big 3/3 Super Galactic Daiguren. Is that what it is?
That sounds right.
I can check the names on these cards because I have it up right now. Archgurren Daiguren, is that what it is? Oh, that's
I was
that's the
gonna say
2 one.
Archgurren should be your level 2.
That's the level 2 one. Where's the big Gurren? Here we go. Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. There we go. Yep, so it just adds all the markers. You pay the cost up front of pay 2, ditch 4, and then you have the Sunder ability to go off. And so what Sunder does is you swing with the level 3, pay the cost.
You rip the top card off.
The top card comes off, and then you restand and swing with the next one.
Do you restand, or is the marker underneath technically considered stood?
I believe.
How does the ruling on that work?
How is this actually?
Because the way I've always seen it done is it always seems like the card underneath is already stood.
Mm-hmm.
That there's no there's technically not really a restand because you're just spawning a new card essentially. You're just spawning it from underneath the card.
Okay, so for the Gurren Lagann one at least, you pay 2, pitch 4 at the end of this card's attack. You grab Super Galaxy Gurren Lagann, put it on any position, and put this card and all markers underneath this card in any order. So it actually keeps all the markers. It just recycles them. I just know at the very end, you're on
Logan.
Yeah, you're on the Team Gurren. Let's see. Yeah, so you just go all the way down. It's like down here, and then it's the same thing. Yep. So yeah, they have like pay 1. Yep. So yeah, you just keep paying 1. You just keep going
until you get all the way down.
And you go all the way down to the 0, and you effectively get, I believe it's, let's hear. So you get the 0, 1, 2, 3, 3. You get 5 attacks. It's fairly affordable to do, and it's like 5 attacks is nothing to scoff at.
It can close games.
It can close games. You can still get multiple reverses because you get to choose where to put the marker. The other set that does this is Batman Ninja, where you get to be in the Batmobile, the Batcopter, and go through all the vehicles until you're just the Batman. Same concept, same finisher. Let's see here. Where is the Batmobile?
You can tell we were very prepared for examples.
We were prepped with examples.
We prepped the list, and we went over the list multiple times, but examples, nah. We know those by heart. Right, Braden?
Exactly. I just know that Sunder's really cool when you do it, and I have to reread the text every time I see it.
But essentially, it's a really cool idea, so instead of, like the Don Don example, where you're pulling a specific card from waiting room to respawn it, you essentially just assemble, and you're just playing it out of a stack.
Yep.
I assume it's similar with
yes,
the Batmobile?
It is the Batmobile is the exact same wording, it looks like, as Gurren Lagann. And it goes into the Batwing, which I believe is another 3-2, because it goes from 3-2 to 3... So 3-3 to 3-2 to 2-1 to 1-0 to 0-0. So yeah, Sunder, probably like the most flavorful thing that Weiss has ever done, and it's still phenomenal.
We only have 2 working examples that
we have
we're aware of.
We have 2 examples, and they're both the best.
One of them is an old as fuck set.
Every other one is a crippled.
One of them is a crippled EN exclusive.
Yep. All right,
now we get to his favorite one.
Yep. So we have another example of a card that effectively does call new attackers, and it's Baji from Tokyo Revengers. Slightly different than a lot of the other ones that we've been talking about, restanding and just calling new units. Baji sucks basically just everything under him. as a marker, and then has the Kids Meal Mikey under him. You need a full board, because you get rid of the whole board. And then the Kids Meal Mikey burns 1 for all the markers under him, which
he gets spawned standing.
Yes, spawn standing. So you get a restand, effectively. You get a 4th attack. And then at the end of his attack, I don't remember if it's end or when he attacks.
It's the end of the attack.
I think it's the end of his attack. He gets to burn 1 X times for the amount of markers that are under him, which is, I believe, 5 or 6. Because you have the full 4 plus the Baji himself.
Well, if the Mikey was on board, though, then you'd have to...
Well, it summons the Mikey from grave.
Okay. So you'd have 5 markers.
So you have like 5 markers. Unless Baji puts the marker, the climax in as a marker as well. Where's Baji? I have him up. Alright.
Insanely expensive to pull.
Yeah, this, people see the pay 8, ditch 3, sack the climax, put 4 characters on this marker. Yeah, this thing just keeps adding cost to it. But Tokyo Revengers plays a game to try and resolve this. So, yeah, you get 5 burn ones.
I mean, realistically speaking, though, considering the range they can kill with this combo, there's no reason not to try for it.
Exactly. It's like, you just go for it. This card is notorious for killing people from as low as, like, 2-0 on a consistent basis, on a semi-consistent basis.
It's not a fluke.
Exactly. This is probably the highest damage, not potential, because, yeah, if your opponent's got all 8 climaxes, sometimes just eating 4.
Well, realistically speaking, the combo does a lot of damage, but depending on what your board looks like, too, can really change how much range it has.
Yeah. Because you only need the 1 Baji in a full board to actually do the combo.
And
everything else... And yeah, Mikey in Waiting Room, which that could be in your stock as well, because you're going to pay 8 and ditch 3. So you could have played any other thing on the board at any other time, including on-play off finishers that like burn for soul triggers, or more of the Mikeys that just burn 1
on swing
because they gain a marker when they're played from hand. So all types of stuff to do in Tokyo Revengers. Sets weird, sets got a nasty finisher line, and it's got weird ways of getting there.
It's called Turn to Bachin.
Yep.
I built the Great Wall of China.
Yep, you just Bachin, or you dual lane until you have 30 stock, and you just pay for everything.
This is why Tokyo Revengers is very afraid of stock swap.
Exactly. Alright, so, moving on from pseudo restanding and pseudo restanding, we have cancel burns. These are different than burning, because these do not...
It's burn, but it's a different condition for the burn.
Yeah, it's a different condition for the burn. These are notoriously far cheaper than actually burning, and the reasoning for that is...
It's not guaranteed.
It's not guaranteed that you're... Yeah, exactly. It's
because if you're doing just a generic burn, it's guaranteed that if I pay this cost, I'm getting the burn, whereas a cancel burn is... a prerequisite needs to be met, them canceling, for me to pull the effect off.
Yes, and so cancel burns notoriously have significantly far, less kill range.
And sometimes you can put both of those effects together.
Sometimes you can.
Because I know a good example of that is the Lloyd finisher in Spy Family, where it's, burn 3 if they cancel burn 1?
Yes. Finn and Jake, notoriously for a long time, was a really strong finisher in the English format, and that is also a burn with a cancel burn attached to it.
Ilulu's got a cancel burn.
Ilulu's got a cancel burn attached to it for Dragon Maid.
Although that one is tied to whatever her soul is, so...
Yep, so it's just the amount is conditional. We've seen Musashi is, like, probably one of the historically... one of the,
This is the grandfather of cancel burn.
Of cancel burn. Cancel burn has been around for far longer than Musashi, of course, but Musashi as an off finisher was probably like the biggest showing and the most prevalent showing of it, due to Kantai's massive amount of popularity.
Are you going to explain to the people that don't know what Musashi is?
Yep. So Musashi is when it attacks on cancel. You mill the top card of your deck, and you burn for the level of the milled card plus 1. The effect is free. You only have to pay for the cost of the character on the board. It works really well with a climax in play. And it's just been a staple off finisher profile, even into very recently, notably when when Gura got hit, Musashi was like one of the first options a lot of the Hololive players looked at as a third lane for your double Gura turns. They haven't exactly stayed on that. They've gone to a whole host of other options because Hololive has a massive card pool. That was one of the very... It still sees play in decks like that because it's a very cheap, very effective off-finisher option.
Can we take a moment to talk about what theoretically should be an amazing cancel burn card, but never pays dividends?
Which card?
Dorothy from Nikkei.
Yes. So...
Why whenever I use Dorothy, it never works?
Yep. So
in theory, this card is amazing.
Yep. So Dorothy from Nikkei has the condition you need to... It gives all of your... So a lot of sets actually just naturally have cancel burn 1 finishers on every card by having the shot climax icon. Nikkei notoriously...
Not a ton of sets that I'm aware of that have shot climaxes.
Not anymore. They don't print shot anymore. Nikkei notoriously used a lot of shot on a lot of their cards and put it on a lot of cards, including Dorothy's effect, which put shot on all your soul triggers, as well as the Blanc and Noir combo giving all your bars shot trigger, as well as increasing the damage of shot trigger by multiple instances with the 2-1. Effectively making all of these cards, as long as you meet the trigger conditions, on cancel burn finishers.
Very scary ones.
Very scary. Probably the scariest cancel burn finishers in the game. Another deck that is an on cancel burn finisher that's very relevant nowadays is Dolores top ends for Bang Dream.
The very cheap.
It's very cheap to pay 1, pitch 1 for Dolores. We have seen the effect before, even in English we've seen it before. The effect to on cancel do some damage and then give the cancel burn effect to another character, or even we've seen that on attack give cancel burn to a character and another character. We've seen that as well. Notably Tula of Rue, when that came out, was fairly strong due to the power of having a very strong finisher with cancel burns. It also had a money counter that it could draw into, which helped that a lot. So cancel burn has seen various success throughout the years. Recently, we've seen a few instances of something that's not quite cancel burn, but we didn't have another category to really put it in. But it's when the damage sticks, burn again. As far as I know, I only know of one card off the top of my head, and it's the from Dengenki Bunko, the Demon Army of a Single Room, names. Urashihara and Ashaya. It's the 2 roommates from Devil's a Part-Timer.
I believe you said this card's a common, too.
This card is, in fact, a common. It is a common 3/2. It heals on play, and then it gives all your other characters, when their damage sticks, deal another 1 damage. Pretty good at just giving you a little bit extra oomph on a finisher. Say if you have something that's very likely to hit. Notably in Dengenki, this hasn't really seen any play, but the theory of this deck in this card is to run it with the Asana 3/2 R from this set that has on cancel burn 2 twice, activates up to twice per turn. That card is very good at sticking at least 1 instance of damage out of its 3, and then you just give it an extra instance on top of that. Just kind of a niche thing. It does exist. Just kind of talk about it a little bit. It's not the best.
It's unique.
It's unique. It's not the best.
It's not often that you would think of an effect that says, oh, hey, because you succeeded, you should plus.
You should plus even harder.
Because cancel burn, the theory, I would argue, is, oh, you didn't plus. You have a chance to plus.
Mm-hmm. It mitigates the low roll, where this is just enhancing the high roll.
As opposed to, I'm going to salvage this. I'm all in on black.
Mm-hmm.
Double down. I don't know. I think it's an interesting thing because
it's a nice thing that it's nice that it does exist. I like that it does exist, and I like that there is a card that can work with it at least.
And I think this isn't tied to a climax combo. How expensive is it?
It's pay 1, ditch 2, and it's on a
so
healer.
3 resources to plus when you plus.
Yep, and then the asanas just ditch a character on attack. So it's like,
that's a completely separate thing.
Exactly. So it's like for this one is pay 1, ditch 2, and it gives it to both other characters and not itself. So
it's prerequisite. It has to swing, right?
Yes, it's when this card attacks, you pay that cost. Okay. Yes.
So that's pretty much it for the cancel burn effects that we came up with. Now we get to talk about the really different ones.
Yep. So we're going to get
Icy Tail.
So Icy Tail, the original Icy Tail is from Psychono 1, from this card that's actually called Icy Tail.
It's ironic that a lot of these made-up words that the Weiss players use are usually tied to a card with the same name, as I learned once upon a time with cigarettes.
Yep, cigarettes, which I'll have an image up for cigarettes. The wording for cigarettes comes from this card, 2 cigarettes. It mills 2 cards, and you grab this level. Now, every time you mill 2 cards and do something, we call that cigarettes.
I'm sure the same is true with the Musashi effect. Anytime you mill a card to burn, it's Musashi.
Yep, so Musashi was the first true printing of that Musashi. Sunder is actually called Sunder. It's actually a keyword. Sunder is one of the few actual true keywords on here.
That's a keyword?
Yeah, Sunder is actually a keyword.
I'm learning things today, folks.
Mm-hmm. I closed the Batman Ninja one. But yeah, Sunder is in fact a black bolded text keyword on Weiss cards.
But it wasn't on the Gurren cards.
It was on the Gurren cards.
It was on the
Gurren cards, and it's on the Batman cards as well. All right. And it's on both. So yeah.
Bushi do more with Sunder. It's cool.
2 more. We have the keyword now.
We have a keyword. Use it. All these other made-up bullshit don't have keywords, but you use it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Although I guess Sunder is kind of an odd one to put on a lot of IPs, because you'd want it to be thematic. You wouldn't want to just throw it on some randomness.
Yep. And to be fair, it's like I would like them to keep Sunder flavorful like it is. So we need to have another thing where it's like layers are just shedding off as I keep going. I'm shedding the excess weight.
Side rant aside, back to Icy Tail.
Yep, so back to Icy Tail. So Icy Tails nowadays have kind of evolved their term into milling the bottom 4 and milling the bottom some number and then dealing
X damage, generally 1 per climax revealed.
Yeah, so original Icy Tail is you mill the bottom 4 and you deal X. X is the number of climaxes. This has changed throughout the years that we've had it, milling various numbers off the bottom.
From Bunny Girl mills 6. Right?
Mills instances of 2 times. If you have the 4 memory, 3 times.
Okay.
So yeah, 4 or 6.
It essentially can mill 6.
Yeah, it mills 6.
And she burns 2 for
each climb. So she burns 2 for
if you
each
reveal a climax.
If you reveal a climax in the bottom 2. So yes, we have. If you reveal any climax, deal some type of damage. We have deal
1 for every climax.
Deal 1 for every climax.
And then because that's what Aki does.
That's what Aki does, and that's typically what we call spicy tails, or when we have multiple instances of damage off a single lane. Then we're starting to get into the spicy tail category. Basically, vanilla Icy Tail, which is just mill bottom 4, deal X for the number of climaxes you saw.
And Aki can get even more spicy if he's got easy revenges.
Yeah, easy revenges in there.
He can bottom check.
Yep, you get to do your checks, Icy Tail. Once you see the climax, then you Icy Tail. Then you can check more, and then the next Aki can keep looking.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't there an Icy Tail that also includes cost zeros?
Level zeros.
Level zeros.
Yes. So Hololive notably has one, as well as Titan. Both of these used a Icy Tail effect that looked for level 0 cards. Oshinoko 1 also had this. This was an on cancel, you procced an Icy Tail that burned 2 for every 0 in the bottom 3. So you're getting all types of combinations of effects here. So yeah, that was a burn 2 X times 1.
But it plays with the variation on the spicy tail of, hey, we're including additional cards.
Yep. And the reason why Icy Tail we see Icy Tail a lot. We see it.
It's really good against compression decks.
Yes, Icy Tail is a finisher that deals more damage into decks that are less likely to eat regular damage. Something like when you're fighting a very compressed deck, for the same cost, so it's like it can vary. Like the amount of damage output that Mai can do varies greatly depending on your opponent's compression. If you're fighting a deck that like just refreshed 2, has nothing in their deck, Mai can be pay 1, ditch 1, deal nothing, or deal like 2 damage. Pay 1, ditch 1, burn 2 is just Marring at that point. However, you can also have the opposite side of that, where say they went back with like a decent number of climaxes, and their climaxes were all not right next to each other on the bottom, and you hit all 3 instances, suddenly Mai is pay 1, ditch 1, burn 2, burn 2, burn 2, then swing. And your damage variation can scale very, very quickly and become very nasty very quickly.
It's odd, too, that now that I think about it, at least a couple of the sets that I'm aware of, at least, a lot of sets that seem to have Icy Tail tend to also have stock swap.
Yeah.
Which I think is like kind of a juxtaposition, because theoretically, if you're compressing, you're usually trying to clean your stock, so it's clean stock.
Yes.
So
yes, it's one of those things. Sets that have stock swap, which Thunder Girl has only stock shuffle, which we'll talk about decompression tools later. But
I'm thinking also of Dragon Maid. Dragon Maid has Icy Tail, but it has true stock swap too.
So yeah, that one has true stock swap.
Not in the same color, mind you, but
yeah, but it's playable. Icy Tails typically don't care about stock swapping. Because you just want some number of climaxes to hit off the Icy Tail usually. The Spicy Tails are definitely not stock swapping, because they are dealing multiple small instances of damage usually. Things like Aki, things like the Quince one, Miku, things like Mai. Stock swapping could actually lower the damage threshold over just actually going for just another copy of the lane, of the finisher.
Well, realistically, too, I mean, if they're hyper compressed and, they got 14 clean stock,
yeah, so
you can just stock swap. It's like, okay, now my normal swings are going to hit, potentially.
Yes. So, yeah, stock swap is kind of instead of mitigating or pushing the advantage or mitigating the disadvantage, it kind of normalizes the curve of what damage output you're expecting. Especially when it comes to something like Mai or Aki. It normalizes the distribution of damage output. And that can get really nasty when that distribution curve starts creeping way over to the right, when your average number of damage starts getting up to that 5-6 range. That was what was really scary about Triple Aki. So, we've talked about this a little bit, but we have multiple burn effects in single lanes. We got into this a little bit with the Spicy Tail, but now we're looking at dedicated multiple instances of burn damage. You've got burn 1, burn 1s, burn 2, burn 2s. I do know of at least one burn 3, though it's on cancel.
I was going to say, isn't there a burn 3, burn 2, burn 1? Or something to that effect?
I do know of a burn 1, burn 2, put the top 3 cards of your clock into damage in Japan, and that's from Zombieland Saga.
Okay.
That's a really fun finisher, the Sakura finisher. Yeah, burn 1, if they cancel the burn 1, burn 2, if they cancel the burn 2, put the 3 cards of their deck into their clock. One of the best checkmate finishers in the game, technically. You cannot live from like 3-6 with that. There is no way to truly cancel out of that deck, sometimes.
I'm gonna kill you. Eventually.
That card guarantees some number of damage. And not a lot of finishers can say that. Burn 1, we've seen quite a few burn 1s. Nikke's TD is one of probably the more recent ones. Bang Dream's got burn 1. Gochiusa was one of the first ones, and that one ended up on its own choice restriction list. What else has got burn 1?
I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of things. I just don't play a lot of decks with burn 1.
It's like I've played
It's a solid profile, though. I mean, 2 instances of burn 1. I mean, if you need a wonderful thing about multiple instances of burn 1, or even just a single instance of burn 1, is sometimes when you know that climax is on the top of the deck, you just sweep it off before anything happens. Just like, oh yeah, that was wonderful. I'm glad I knew that the top card was a climax. Because, yeah. I know you're a big fan of burn 2 profiles.
Yeah, burn 2. You don't see it as often.
I thought that's what the Nikkei TD was burn 2. Or is it burn 1? With the Rapi?
Let's see.
Because I know you built that list.
I believe it is burn 1.
Okay. Because I know that the set Rapi is the goofy restand with Honest and Neon.
Yep, deal 1 2 times.
Okay, so it is burn 1.
Yep.
I mean, it gets you there.
It does.
If you got 3 instances of burn 1, that's 6 damage.
Yes.
That's very hard to cancel.
6 instances of burn 1 is really good. Who would have guessed? Ayakashi Triangle's trial deck also had burn 1. That's right. That's another one I was thinking about. Data Live has burn 1. So I play all 3 of those. So
did Blue Archive have burn 1?
Blue Archive does not have burn 1. Not that I'm aware of, because I probably would have tried it. Blue Archive has Icy Tail. Man, it's like Blue Archive has Icy Tail 8 twice.
Jesus.
So yeah.
Well, then I know the red deck, isn't that the restander deck?
Yeah, the standby deck has
the restand.
Well, when you stand by, it stands it during battle step. That's really fun for the Aru combo, and that would be a version of spawn new attacker, a standby that stands itself in battle step.
Well, then we also have like Shina no Burn, which is multi-instances of burn 1 for climaxes revealed from deck.
Yep, so yeah, that would be a similar thing of burn 1. Yep, so getting 3 instances.
That depends on how many climaxes I flip. If I don't flip any, I don't get shit.
Yep. You could say that Aki is just trying to get some number of burn 1s, because that's exactly what it is. It's a burn 1 finisher, except it also might burn more than just burn 1. It might burn 1 3 times. Maybe you get a refresh ping and it's burn 1 4 times. And it's free, compared to a lot of the other burn 1 finishers, which usually costs pay 2 ditch 1 or pay 1 ditch a specific card.
Well, then we can get to your example of the Swiss Army knife multi-burn.
Yeah, so before we get to that, we'll talk about burn 2, the far more expensive version of burn 1, and this was for a long time one of the best finisher profiles in the game that never killed anybody.
Strong words.
Yep. So the most notorious burn 2 in English Weiss is Birdcage Yukina from Bang Dream. Again, everyone loves Bang Dream.
Music Trait's not a real set.
Music Trait doesn't exist. It's not real. It can't hurt you, just like Yukina can't. Birdcage Yukina heals on play, and it's on reverse, pay 3, ditch 2 to burn 2. In the set that also had Stock Swap and Fumio.
So, tell me again why it's not killing people?
It just never killed people. It just never got the reverses. That's why people switched to Mocha. Mocha killed people, apparently. We'll talk about Mocha as well. That's, again, another
kind of weird to think, though, because you'd think doubling the damage potential, yeah, there's a higher chance that they cancel on the multi-burns, but you have a much higher threshold to stick damage.
Yeah, so nobody is sitting here questioning the ability of burn 2 to kill people. It is incredibly strong, or even more instances of burn 2, so things like Mai. This is like the difference between Mai Icy Tail versus Aki Icy Tail, where Mai is very likely to hit 2 climaxes in 6. Aki is very likely to hit 2 climaxes in 6 as well, potentially. That's assuming you have 2 Easy Revenge.
But that's a difference of 2 damage versus
4 damage, potentially, in multiple instances like that, and in split instances. This is why Mai absolutely floored people when it did kill people, and then Aki would always consistently, you would never die to the actual Icy Tail burns, you would eat 1 swing of Aki, and that's what would kill you. Because then it's just all these, like, eating the swing for 3 puts you so close to dead and you're going to eat 4 burn 1s. That's why both these finishers are limited to 2.
Modern Icy Tail has been considered quite good.
Modern Icy Tail is very good.
We'll talk about that later.
Exactly. So, burn 2, burn 2.
So burn 2, burn 2 is 5 resources.
It is 5 resources all the time.
What is burn 1, burn 1? Is that 3?
3 resources.
Pay 2, pitch 1 usually?
Yes, and that can be 3 resources, or it can be 2 resources. We've seen it with 2 resources, but it was a specific resource.
Okay.
Notably, the Bang Dream one is pay 1, ditch the 0/0 Climax Grabber, Climax Rize, or on reverse Kome, however you want to describe that card. I took that to top 8, and it's like, yeah, you can get there, but it's a lot of work to select for 6 cards and the Climax by the time you're going to level 3, while maintaining like a good board state and everything, like a good game plan. Then we have multiple modular burn finishers, and there is one very specific card when it comes to multiple modular burns, and that is Gura. Gura takes the best of all of what we were just talking about with burn 1, and burn 2, burn 2, and combines it into a nice package of burn 2, burn 1, burn 1.
But one of those is conditional.
It's the burn 1 and the burn 1 are conditional that you always hit.
I don't know. I've seen someone whiff one.
I don't whiff one of them.
I don't know if I've ever seen someone whiff both, but I've definitely seen someone whiff one.
Mm-hmm. The problem with Gura was that they gave the deck access to
too many soul triggers.
To too many soul triggers and too many ways to confirm that it was going to get those soul triggers. The Clock Plus that they played went to memory a lot of times when Triple Gura was allowed. So that was if you used your Clock Plus, that's one less soul trigger in your deck. Brainstorm's got a soul trigger, 4 your Climax Flip's got a soul trigger, your level 1 combo has a soul trigger on it, let alone if you're playing the standby variant, so all your Climaxes have soul triggers on them. Gura is a very good finisher. And
this is why she has been restricted.
This is why Gura is restricted to 2. The damage output from that, so it's the same range as a Burn 4, which we talked about a little bit earlier. The range, however, the potential damage the potential damage is the same as a Burn 4. The expected damage is significantly higher because it takes that Burn 4 and splits it into 3 instances. Yeah, Triple Gura would consistently kill people from
2-1,
2-3, 2-1 it was realistic to die from 2-1.
I died a lot from 2-1, 2-4 thresholds.
Yep. So
this is why I disdain this deck.
Yeah. So the deck, realistically, most of the time should be killing from 2-3, 2-4, and it's it would go for it, and it would get there more often than not, which is why during that competitive season, a lot of Gura saw play, and that's just why it's now restricted to 2. So
Thank you, Bushy. You did something good.
You did something good. Please unban the standby stuff.
You can leave that there.
Can leave it there. Speaking of standby stuff,
I don't want to see Hololive in my Weiss Schwarz.
Yep.
It got its own card game now.
It has its own stuff. Speaking of standby stuff, a little bit, we have the next category that we said, which is, we call it kicking. We love kicking.
We love kicking.
In the format right now, we currently have Top Kick, is probably the most relevant thing, top deck kicking, with the Alice from Nikkei. Top kicking basically just increases the likelihood of the next attack sticking, or your next instance of damage sticking. You can use burns and all sorts of other stuff to try and confirm that damage. Top Kick has existed for ever, I think. It's incredibly long.
I don't know. When we're talking legacy knowledge, that's more you than me.
Top Kick's been around for a long time. I know that, at least. Yeah, so that's been around for a while. The better version of Top Kick is Clock Kick. Well, debatably better. Sometimes confirming the actual full swing of your next attack is better than the 1 guaranteed damage. Clock Kick's been a pretty consistent reoccurring finisher. Doesn't see as much meta play anymore. compared to what it used to be back in the days of like Kantai Collection and slightly later than that. But basically, if you score the reverse, either you can pay some cost, or sometimes it's free with the climax combo, with a climax combo, to just send that character to clock.
Which is very annoying.
Yep.
Especially if they're reversing your finishers, because you didn't kill them.
Yeah, it's really good because it hard removes the card from the opponent's board, puts it in their damage, so now they have to heal and then get it out of their grave if they're trying to recur it. If not, they have to actually have a clock selection tool, which has not been the most relevant thing recently. Some decks like to run like one clock selection tool, maybe, just to try and grab things that accidentally get put in there by damage. Stuff like a Gura, maybe, that you need. Stuff that's limited to 2. But clock kick, guaranteed damage, always been okay. It's not the most damage output, which is why it probably doesn't see as much play anymore. As an off finisher,
it's theoretically consistent damage, though, if you can get the reverse.
Exactly, yeah. It is consistent.
If your opponent has full board, it's like, that's 3 damage.
Exactly, that is 3 damage. If you eat 1 swing for 4, or if you eat a swing for 3, refresh, that's death. You can't eat any of these. It's very good at checkmating games. Closing games from like 3-1 is probably like the good range for clock kick.
Well, and honestly, if like your example earlier, if you put someone to 3-5, 3-6, and
it's
they
like,
don't have a clean board, it's like, I have clock kick.
It's like you have clock kick. It's like the game's just over once it gets back to your turn. It's like that's just how it goes. A slightly spicier thing that we have for kicking that we threw in this category, we're calling clock insertion. And basically this is just finishers that do some effect and put cards directly into the opponent's damage zone. These are the other term that we've used for these is uncancelable damage. This is things like the new Special Week finisher coming up in the Uma Musume set.
For English.
New for English, not very new for Japan. The ReZero Memory Snow Rem finisher. What else?
Would you argue that Hindenburg fits into this category, or would Hindenburg be in the Mocha category?
Hindenburg's in a weird category because it's like it's a burn 3 that they need to double cancel effectively. Yeah. So it's like it's a weird mix between a burn 3 and a Mocha 3. But it is a clock it is a clock insertion finisher and how it's worded though. Because it is uncancelable damage. It's cancelable, but it's uncancelable damage. Tokyo Revengers has an uncancelable finisher with their standby top end. It just puts cards in depending on what the power level is. Dio from JoJo is another one. Puts 2 in directly. As long as they full board reverse, Joker reverse. So clock insertions, very threatening finishers. However, they're usually very expensive or very tied to some condition. Or like have whiff conditions effectively. So instead of a canceling condition, they have a whiff condition, usually.
Or they're not overly powerful.
Yeah, or it's like you're only putting 1 card in or something.
Because if I remember correctly when we were going over Special Week, it's like Special Week's guaranteed, for the most part, 1.
It's guaranteed 1.
It has a potential for 2.
And it has a it has a pretty okay shot at 2. If you triple it, which is not that expensive, that's
potentially 6 damage. Which
it's potentially 6.
Nothing they can do about is very scary when you consider you also have 3 swings for 3 backing it up.
You went through 6. You went through 9 cards of their deck, plus however much you swung for. So that's like a refresh ping. Plus, so that could be very easily a refresh ping plus up to 6 uncancelable damage. That sounds a lot like 7 damage to me, which is enough to basically kill somebody from 3-0 if they healed all the way down.
And then I know with Hindenburg is ungodly expensive.
Yeah, Hindenburg is so expensive.
It's like 4 cards from hand,
yeah,
pay 2.
It's pay 2, 4 cards from hand, no unplayability, no heal, no refund hand.
She does have Neg Soul.
She is a continuous Neg 1, which is a very old heal and sit.
We're going back to heal and sit, but we're going to put a freaking clock insertion on it.
Yep, it's heal and sit with the clock insertion.
What if I paired this with Rune?
Yeah. Rune's Nexel.
Even more Nexel.
Even more Nexel.
On a really bit. Actually, Hindenburg doesn't sit that big.
Unfortunately, it doesn't.
Oh, we forgot. You can only have red and green cards on the field for that conditional on Hindenburg too.
Yep. Conditioned more. Again, they didn't want to make Hindenburg is a new line of text they wanted to test, and they didn't want it to be broken. So they held back quite a bit with that one.
Well, like you said, it's very strong to say, hey, I see you have one climax in 3. Too bad, put all that in clock.
Yeah. It's burn. It is burn. It's the most expensive burn 3, but they have to double cancel the burn 3.
It's like super burn 3.
It's super burn 3, and reasonably so. It's expensive.
I mean, pulling it off twice is a feat in itself.
Yes, if you can pull it off twice, that was the goal. That was the entire plan.
But yeah, any effect, I'd argue that just directly puts cards in your clock that you arguably don't really have any say on what happens is really scary stuff, especially when they can put climaxes in there.
Yeah, especially when they target CXs, because now you're also ruining compression on top of doing the damage. All right.
So now we're gonna get into
some
more, even more wacky shit.
Yep. So,
well, I don't know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't argue Mocha's that wacky, but the thing that you have listed below it,
so
starts getting there.
It starts getting weirder and more niche. So we have Mocha is our next one.
Explain to the children at home what Mocha means.
Yep. So
more made up words.
Yep. This is another made up jargon term, community jargon term. Mocha is the ability to look at the top X cards of the opponent's deck and do whatever you want with them. You can leave them there, you can mill them, you can mill some and leave some.
You can look at all of them, put them back.
You can look at all of them, put them all right back. Basically, what Mocha does is very similar to what cancel burns do.
Quick question. With Mocha, can you rearrange with Mocha?
You can rearrange with Mocha. A lot of times you can rearrange with Mocha.
Because it seems like I know some Mocha effects where you can't discard the cards, but you can look at them and rearrange them.
Yeah, so
it's like,
there's like very niche, slightly older ones on like off
Mocha
finishers. Light. Yeah, it's Mocha Light, effectively.
I put extra cream in my coffee.
Yep, so yeah, you can set the cancel on one, and now your follow-up. It's like, usually it's like, okay, I look at the 2.
I see they're going to cancel.
It's like, usually it's tied to a burn if you do that.
Yep.
Okay, you can stack your burn, and then you get the swing into 1 clean plus whatever else. So Mocha, original Mocha was look at 2 cards, and then it also looked at your own stuff as well, which was really neat because now you can start setting your own triggers and cancels into the following turns. We have Mocha 3 and things like Spy Family. And
is that
Bunny Girl?
Is that Anya?
Yeah, Anya is look at 3. Bunny Girl set 2 as a pants finisher. That's Mocha 3 as well. Mocha 1 would be something like Hendrickson's burn, where Hendrickson is a burn 4, but it also gets to just peek at 1. And like peek at 1 is more like, we don't really call that what Mocha is much. I've heard Fate Seal thrown around. I've heard just like you surveil your opponent's deck or scry your opponent's deck.
Say scry 1.
You have scry 1, surveil 1.
We talked about Aki. He essentially has Mocha 1.
Yeah, Aki does it.
But he has multiple instances.
Yep, and it's the bottom, looking at it, and you can order it with your Icy Tail. So handful of variation on Mocha, of variations on Mocha, looking at certain amounts, what you can do. There are Mochas where you cannot move all the cards, so I do know the Hololive has Noel, which is a mill 20, which we'll talk a little bit about. Mill is like a pseudo decompression.
I was going to say that's at the bottom of the list. We'll get there.
Yep, mill. But the Noel from Hololive mills cards, and then Mocha's 2, but you put 1 on the top and 1 on the bottom. So it's not like a true Mocha effect, because if you see 2 climaxes, they still cancel the swing, and you kind of just get really sad when that happens.
Is Mocha a relatively, like, old effect?
Mocha was Girls Band Party Was it 1 or 2? It was one of the Girls Band Party sets, but it's post standby.
Okay, so post standby. It's not super old.
Yeah, Mocha 1, which is just peek at your opponent's top deck, might have existed beforehand.
But Mocha 2, Mocha 3.
Mocha 2 and Mocha 3 are definitely post-standby effects.
Because you can definitely kill people with Mocha 2.
Yeah, Mocha 2 and Mocha 3. Mocha 3 gets really scary. I've seen it at End of Attack in Rent-A-Girlfriend. Mocha 3, Rent-A-Girlfriend 1. We don't have Rent-A-Girlfriend 2 in English yet. Please announce that, Bushi. Please. I want my Climax swappers.
No. You should know by now, Braden. Don't ask Bushy for anything, because he'll never give it to you.
I'll keep asking, and I will keep getting my stuff. Eventually, I will get Data Live. Alright, so, tied in with Mocha, it's similar, except does it a little bit, the timing's a little bit different.
Timing's a little different, and you might argue it's better.
It might be better, it might also just be...
You might be whiffing.
It might be significantly worse. But we have what I call anti-spiral. For those of you familiar, we got more Gurren Lagann lingo in here.
It's because Gurren Lagann is the GOAT.
Gurren Lagann's the best set ever created in Weiss Schwarz, and I have multiple people who would agree with me on that one.
It's also very expensive.
It's also one of the most expensive English Weiss sets ever. But anti-spiral is very similar to Mocha, except you get all the procs for checking the top of your opponent's deck when you play the Climax, and then you look at some number of cards, you take and remove and add whatever you want, and then they shuffle their deck. So anti-spiral, I do not remember how many anti-spiral, but like Mob Psycho has this as well with the Muscles deck, and the Fujimi 1 also has this on a bar combo. The Fujimi one looked at the top 3 and then removed any climaxes and then shuffled. It also healed on play. The Mob one, I don't have it up. Oh, nope, I have it up.
I was going to say you better. You didn't close the tab.
Yep, it gets anti-backup and everything. It checks X, where X is the number of muscle characters, and then they shuffle their deck. And then anti-spiral, I can look that up, anti-spiral.
So it's essentially the same thing. The difference is you're not you're not stacking the top of the deck. You're just ripping cards out.
Exactly. Yeah, you're just ripping them all out before you enter your attack step.
In hopes of, hey, I'm gonna find all those cancels. I'm gonna remove them from your deck, and then I'm gonna punish you.
Yep. Ultimate Universal Diablo, Gran Zaboma. This one's got a cost
of what? Pay 1, pitch 1.
Oh yeah, so yeah, Anti-Spiral's got a whole other thing. So it heals, pay 1, ditch 1, on attack, the Climax, you mill your own 3, check X from your opponent's start, put X cards from among them, put them in the waiting room, put the rest of your opponent's deck in your opponent's shuffles. X is equal to the number of characters with Mugon milled by this effect, +2. And Mugon, of course, is the army card.
Yep.
Excellent. So yeah, you could mill, like, if you milled 3 Mugons, on attack you look at 5, then remove any climaxes, shuffle, then you get to swing. I think Anti-Spiral being on attack is way better than doing it at the start of the climax step. Anti-Spiral has actually seen relevant play even into like 2024, I believe.
I mean, I still remember the very first Rosemont Regionals that I went to, round 2, or I think it was round 2 or 3. There was a guy sitting next to me playing Anti-Spiral.
Yep. It's just cool like that.
It just works.
It just works.
Well, and if I'm not mistaken, doesn't the Anti-Spiral deck also shut down your opponent's traits?
They have anti-early play hate.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, they have the 2-1. At the beginning of a climax phase, if all your characters are anti-spiral, all players put all their characters with level higher than level at the bottom of their deck. So, yeah, at the beginning of the... So just every climax step, all early plays hit the bot deck. So you cannot early play against anti-spiral. Which is kind of rude. Just kind of. And the brainstorms.
Sorry.
Then the brainstorm always hits because it hits off Mugen's, like it hits off the army card, and it just keeps going and going and going, and it just keeps going, and it's so cool. Gurren Lagann's the coolest set ever printed in Weiss Schwarz. So, but yeah, these effects that are they're like mochas. They look at some number of cards, they remove their stuff, and then they shuffle the opponent's deck afterward. So we're calling those like anti-spirals or pseudo mochas. Alright, and then our last category isn't exactly the finishers themselves, but it's all the decompression tools that we like to use with our finishers. So the classic, original, great one, Stock Swap. It's been around for a really long time. I think DeCapo first set has Stock Swap. I know DeCapo has Stock Swap, but I don't know if DeCapo 1, or like DeCapo 2, I guess. I know it's a green card.
This man's bringing up JP sets.
I'm pulling up the JP green cards. I'm not seeing the Stock Swap there. I'm seeing the Xylophone.
So what came first, Stock Swap or Stock Shuffle?
Stock Swap came first. True Stock Swap came first. These are just foils. Alright, can't find it.
So Stock Shuffle came along as a, hey, we think this set needs Stock Swap, but we don't want it to be good.
They wanted to print a slightly weaker version of Stock Swap, and they did. So now we have Stock Swap and we have Stock Shuffle. Both of them are pretty good. Notably, it's like we keep notes of sets that actually don't have Stock Swap or Stock Shuffle anymore, more than the sets that do have it. Nowadays, it's quite known that Quince and Nikkei both do not have Stock Swap, and Overlord does not have Stock Swap.
In Braden's famous words, Bunny Girl does not have Stock Swap.
Yep, Bunny Girl has Stock Shuffle. Has Stock Shuffle.
Yeah, but you don't run it in the list.
I don't run it. Some people do run it. It's on attack, pay 2. It's a Stock Shuffle, so it's not the best. And you don't really need it because Mai is just good enough like that. But
I reiterate, in Braden's famous words, it doesn't have it.
It doesn't have it. It doesn't really need it. But yeah, Stock Shuffle, slightly worse version. Notable sets with Stock Shuffle as opposed to Stock Swap. When we get ReZero 3, that will have Stock Shuffle. Freerun has Stock Shuffle. Bunny Girl has it, I guess. We just mentioned that.
I'm pretty sure also, if I'm not mistaken, the Notorious Dow has Stock Swap.
Yes, Data Live has Stock Swap. It's like so Bang Dream, Notorious.
It has multiple iterations of Stock Swap, doesn't it?
No, it just has the one, unless they reprinted it.
Just the yellow one?
Yeah, just the yellow one from Data Bullet. So yeah, sets that have Stock Swap. Bang Dream, notably Buns for Luck, is probably the most iconic image of Stock Swap in Weiss in general, let alone English Weiss. Hololive has Stock Swap.
We talked about this before. Hololive has everything.
Hololive has everything.
There's nothing Hololive doesn't have.
If Hololive wants it, they can play it.
And this is why they got their own card game.
Yep. So what else is... Let's see. What else has...
I mean, like you said earlier, for the most part, it's more a matter of knowing what doesn't have these things versus what does have them.
Yeah, so... This is a big matchup thing. So, like, Blue Archive doesn't have it. Like when I'm just looking through like a list of decks on Encore decks right here, like Blue Archive doesn't, Nikkei doesn't, Azure doesn't.
I'm getting a sense that any of the gotcha sets just don't have Stock Swap.
In general, yeah, I think so. I think that's pretty close to correct. Trying to think if Kantai... Does Kantai have Stock Swap? I don't know if Kantai has Stock Swap.
Actually, Kantai might.
I don't remember if it does. I don't recall if... I don't know, because that might be like a European fleet card too.
I was going to say, I think it's if they had it, it's a European fleet. Yeah. Because it's not OG Kantai.
It's not OG, no. Looking at like the list of decks I have lined up here, I know OG Love Live has it, but the new Love Lives don't. Dengenki Bunko does have it. Ayakashi Triangle does not have it.
Sword Art has it.
Sword Art's definitely got it.
Because I know I've been hit with it.
Mm-hmm.
Frickin' Alice.
Madoka does not have it. Rent-A-Girlfriend does not have it.
Does Quince?
Quince does not have it. That's like the big one for the long time, because Quince was like the top deck for a long time, and it just like oh, it doesn't have stock swap. Just stock compress. It's that easy. Fujimi does have it on the level 0 profile. Slime does have it as well, the same level 0 profile. So those are like two big ones. And that's a big one that's coming out soon. Fujimi 2 is getting that. I think it's a promo reprint, but I've got my originals. I'm cool like that.
I'll flex on the viewers like that.
I gotta flex on the viewers. I have a playset of Fujimi Bunko set 1.
Why don't we move over to talking about Fumio?
Yep, so Fumio, basically it's on play. You pay some cost, sometimes it's rest a character, sometimes it's pay 1. And you put, OG Fumio was you put, your opponent chooses 2 climaxes and then refreshes with everything but those 2 climaxes. What we saw more recently, if your set was not privileged to get the old Fumio, new Fumio is usually 1 climax. You choose your opponent chooses 1 climax and puts everything else back in. Stuff with 2-card Fumio in English, I think, is limited to OG Love Live and Konosuba, which I think those are also the only 2. Well, and then that and Bang Dream are the only 3 sets with stock swap and Fumio in the same set. Bang Dream's Fumio is a 1 climax Fumio. I think those are the 3 sets that have stock swap and Fumio. So, it's always good to know. That's why Konosuba always kills people.
Despite the fact that you might not see Konosuba all that often.
It's because you don't see it. Doesn't mean it won't hurt you. The closest thing that any other set has come to that is Hololive has Shuffleback 3, which that's another thing that we have here, is Shuffleback. Botan being on play, so you can order that with stock swap however you want, is really strong. And also being able to shuffle back climax and then stock swap somebody is really strong, turning into like a pseudo Fumio type effect. But yeah, shuffleback has seen play on multiple types of finishers, usually tied to a burn of some kind.
Or gaining soul.
I notoriously have played the Queen finisher from Data Live or Data Bullet, and brought that to top 8 for a team league. Yeah, for a team league. 2024, I believe? 2024?
I think so.
Data Live 2 was out at the time, so, because it was Yoshino into Queen. You can check, I'm pretty sure there's a Clock Tower deck tech on that one, because we did that. So you can
say that was the year we played with Colton. So.
Yep. So there is a deck tech on that on the Clock Tower channel. Go check that out if you're more interested in my 8-bar Dow list. Also check out my Encore decks if you're interested in it there. Now I'm selfishly plugging.
Now he's plugging himself. Roast his ass in the comments.
Yep, please do. That's engagement.
Now he's engagement farming.
Yep. The shuffleback, again, you're just trying to dilute the opponent's deck. Usually they're tied with burns. They're pretty good. They usually add about 1 extra cost to what the finisher would normally be in any generalized scenario. Usually pretty good. They can get really scary once if your opponent leaves you with smaller few cards left in deck. That's when these shufflebacks can get really nasty. That's what carried Kurumi to get banned and limited to 2.
Well, it's also what carried you in one of those matches in Rosemont.
Oh, yeah.
That was a nasty combo.
Yeah, the Queen gains 2 soul when you shuffle back 2, and I was able to side a level 3 character, or 2 level 3 Ions, and then side a level 2 Yuri for exactly 7 damage after he was out all 8 with like 2 cards left in deck. So, unavoidable, can't counter it, can't stop it. Side for 2, side for 2, side for 3.
I don't have to worry about tap counter when I can side for 2 into a 3.
Yep.
Because I have 5 soul.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, shufflebacks. I think shuffleback is really good.
It's
as long as
scales.
they're not overly compressed.
Yeah, it scales with how few cards are left in the opponent's deck. If your opponent has less cards, and of course, obviously with the ratio, if I shuffle back 2 cards and my opponent's 5 out of 6, I'm still not sticking damage. But if my opponent's 1 out of 6 and I shuffle back 2 cards, suddenly my swing for 3 looks a lot better than what it did beforehand.
And we'll get to the very last profile we
The
have.
last thing we're going to talk about is mill, which we don't see it very often.
But it is funny as shit when you use it.
Yep.
And it's just hitting.
When you just mill 20 cards from your opponent's deck and you see 6 climaxes leave their deck, you just feel greatness. Mill is completely random, unfortunately. Currently, in the English format, the relevant mill card is the Bunny Girl Senpai, the yellow early play. It's a early play healer, or you can mill 10. Oftentimes, Bunny Girl will be running this at like 1 to 2 copies just to flex some yellow, and the mill 10 can be very relevant to try and get your opponent into like a next deck or on a low deck.
I was going to say, the one time I played it for Chainsaw Cup, just for shits and giggles.
Oh, because you played a Katana Man?
I played Katana Man. I was honestly dealing more damage with refresh pings than I was almost anything else.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Killing a man with refresh pings just it gives you a certain feeling.
Yep. I have notoriously used a Mel Noel deck from Hololive at some point to deal like 3 or 4 refreshes in a single turn, I think. I think it was 3 refreshes in a single turn because refreshed once and then I milled 60 milled 60 on a small deck. And then it also just mochas, so it doesn't matter how much compressed you are. I'm taking 3 unavoidable damage.
Well, and refresh pings is annoying because it can be anything and it's not cancelable.
I know, it's uncancelable damage. That's clock insertion. Mill is just clock insertion in a most roundabout way.
Yes, actually.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't think we see mill that often.
We don't.
Or a lot of times we don't see mill as super relevant unless it's like you said on the Bunny Girl card where it's more a tech card than what the deck is trying to do.
Now, noticeably, when we get ReZero 3, the stock shuffle also has mill attached to it. And that can get very nasty very quickly. Because what you can do is you can stock shuffle, which stock shuffle is usually always, if you're performing the stock shuffle, it is always improving the scenario for you. It's which is different than stock swap. Stock swap isn't always basically guaranteed to be better. Sometimes it just mills. But the combination of stock shuffle plus mill on the same profile is really nasty, especially when you can order the effects so that, because one of the counters to stock shuffle is to leave a very small deck. Because if they just shuffle their 8 clean stock, there's only 1 card left in my deck, I still end with 1 card left in my deck and 8 clean stock. It's like nothing really changed, you just wasted the resources to play the card.
But now if I can mill...
Now if I mill you 10 and then stock shuffle, now it's, that 8 stock can be anything. You took the refresh ping already, and we're all in business now. We're all going. So that's why ReZero ended up on the It's Banned list. It also has got Enterprise while it's doing that.
God.
Yeah. Enterprise is burn 3, burn 3.
Yep.
We didn't talk too much about just burn 3, but it exists.
Well, Enterprise is technically conditional, burn 3, but yes.
But it's burn 3, burn 3.
It's burn 3.
So
well, that's set to Enterprise.
Yeah, that's set
not
to
set 1.
Yeah. So that's where that's about all the finishers that we really categorized. A lot of the stuff that we didn't mention is mostly just combinations of these things.
Well, and you have some fun variations on some of these.
So instead of Musashi, you have top check to burn, where you just leave the card there, or it's not on cancel, it's on attack, you mill. So stuff like that. These are just the generic
or we
common
have
ones.
Girls Band Cry with its multi-instance burn 2s.
Yeah, so it's
of
like
pitching your hand and all your stock.
and it's like for every 5 you ditched, for
Burn
every
2.
5 that was paid for this cost, you burn 2
Yep.
that many times. Or you get stuff like the Escanor, where it changes my attack into instances of 1 damage. Stuff like that. Or like Yo from Love Live Sunshine, where it's just passively on attack, burn the level of the card on top. And it's like, it's combinations and differences of things like this. If you guys have any other things that we missed, it's like we didn't really do anything with this. We just really talked through them all and
We brought up some examples.
gave
I mean,
examples and whatnot.
we could talk about which ones we think are, and it's kind of situational because you could theoretically throw any finisher profile into any set, but it really comes down to what's backing the finisher profile in order to determine whether it's good or if it's bad.
Yep. There's things like all these finishers have different costs. So like we talked about some of the costs on like burn 1, burn 2, burn 2, some other burns. Musashi, we called it free.
Well,
Like Clock Kick is also
we talked about the like changeover history with restand.
Yeah, like
restand used to be expensive as shit, and nowadays it's like it don't cost nothing,
yeah,
man.
it's like pay 1, pitch 1 and stuff. just
Sometimes I can
goes.
give myself hexproof.
So it's like we've seen, so costs have changed. The on-play effects that go with them have changed.
Sometimes where it used to be you'd only have one of these effects, we're starting to see a combination of effects.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Some of those combination effects are a little more deserving than others.
Yep.
Make next soul good.
Please make Next Soul good.
Well, I guess technically you do have a combination effect with the mash, because the mash would have the next soul effect plus it can't be reversed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't get you there in a lot of matches, unfortunately.
Not anymore, unfortunately. Next Soul doesn't.
It definitely gets you the, oh, hey, I didn't lose to this 20k standby bullshit.
But at the same time, I didn't kill them.
I didn't kill them.
They didn't kill me and I didn't kill them, and now we're just gonna do it again. Until one of us cracks. And that's been the problem with Neg Soul for a little bit now, is compression's too good, finishing profiles are too good.
Well, like I said earlier, if your whole profile doesn't care if your attack hits or not, Next Soul doesn't mean anything to you.
Neg Soul doesn't do as much.
Well, I guess it doesn't hit's not the right term, but
it reduces it.
If my card's effect is what I'm banking on killing you, not the swing.
Yep. Another quick note for Neg Soul, I didn't mention this anywhere in here, but we also have anti-auto damage.
You're going to talk about Log Horizon?
We'll make it a little bit better than that. We'll talk about Bang Dream again.
We talked about this, Braden. Music trait doesn't exist.
So let's talk about Anniversary Costume. End of attack, pay 2, burn 2, and the character across from this, or the character in battle with this, cannot deal auto damage. There are a handful of cards that say you cannot deal auto damage. That's probably the most relevant one in English. As Mark said, the one before that in English was Log Horizon, the Shiro back row.
Well, the scary part about that was it sat in the back row. So
It sat in the back row. It provided a Neg Soul thing and was one-sided. That's the only thing Log Horizon ever really did, though. It had nothing else, really.
That's all I had.
In Japan, there's a much more relevant deck that does anti-damage like that, and that would be Charlotte. Charlotte's is a scary concept to fight, because that's got anti-auto damage, and then you can have cannot front attack for the actual combo of ditching the climax for each one. So it shuts off whole lanes.
So you have to side
Yeah.
into a level 3.
Yeah. I think that's what it is, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know shit about the
sh-
JP side of
okay,
things, so
Char-
I'm trusting you on this.
Yeah, Charlotte locking, I know, is really nasty. Charlotte. It was probably not in this. Was it in the set, or was it in a Bunko set? Blue. Big Charlotte. Ditch a climax with that name. At the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, if this is in the front row, search your deck for one character, add it to hand, shuffle the deck, choose a character facing this card, and this card gains the following ability. This card cannot front attack. On attack, top check if it's a character, add it to hand. It just has that naturally.
So it doesn't have auto. It doesn't have burn cancel.
No, but I think there's an event that sits in memory that has auto burn.
Okay. Turning off frontal attacks.
Yep.
That is rude.
Yep. So that was Fate's Negsoul for the bar deck. It wasn't actually a Negsoul. It just said you can't front attack. So it was a Neg 3.
Which is the opposite of what Luna tells you, which you can't side attack.
Luna says you can't side attack. These are the opposite cards. So yeah, those are just the finishers. If you have any other finishers, like concept finishers that don't really fit into this, let us know.
Let us know what your favorite finishers are.
Let us know your favorite finishers. Like what's the best finisher, your favorite finisher, the worst finisher.
We already know what the best finisher is. It's in Puzzle and Dragon.
It's Puzzle and it's Nay.
It's Nay. It all comes back to Nay.
It's Nay, or it's the key one that burns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Or it's Star Platinum.
Good old Star Platinum. We didn't talk about that as a finisher. Just take an extra turn.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. We also take another turn as a finisher. That's just triple restand though.
Allegedly. It's triple restand. Better.
But better. So usually those are level restricted. You can't do it.
Oh, they're so hard to pull off.
Yep.
I still remember person at our locals with the JoJo take an extra turn deck. Literally had everything to do it. I'm gonna scoop. Oh, I worked so hard for this.
Yep. All right. That's us signing off. We're the 8th bar. See you later.